Hello, everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw SANS from UNDERTALE. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. I don't know this one. Someone requested it, and I'll be honest with you, it's kind of a strange request. No offense. Hey, I'm glad everybody likes what they like. You know, it's a beautiful world. We all get to try different things, and that's fantastic. Now, that being said, politeness out of the way, this one was a little strange because I get it. I know you like it, but it's a skeleton. That's pretty much it, with his hands in his jacket. And not only that, and I mean, it's exercise. That's a nice thing, because it's always a good exercise. There's no details to this. Like, it's a little 8-bit character from a game, I guess. I don't know much about it, I'll be honest with you. I had to look it up. And there aren't any details that go beyond a tiny skeleton with some kind of jacket, I guess, and his hands in his coat. I mean, again, I'll be honest with you, I don't know anything about the character. So, I'm just going by the few images I can find, and it looks like he's just wearing a coat with his hands in his coat. So again, there's not a lot of detail, but it's an exercise in what do you call it? In body placement and what do you call it? And wrinkles and folds, that kind of thing. So, you know, we'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do everybody's request. What's funny is it's taken me so long to get to it, that person may not even be watching anymore. But that's how it goes, and I'm glad everybody puts in their requests. But yeah, sometimes it takes a long time because I get a lot of requests. I mean, a lot. I got somebody who keeps requesting Superboy, and it's coming up. It is. But again, you just, the more people ask, the bigger the list gets. And like I said, I'm never going to say stop. I'm never going to say slow down, because keep them coming. You're just going to keep me drawing different things, and that's fantastic, you know? So, yeah, that being said, you know, it's going to take a little while, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And, you know, either come back and check it out, or you know, just give me some time. We'll get there. I'm not going to do 100% accuracy of the bones here, but I'm going to get close. Okay, so, and it looks like he's got pants on, or not pants. Again, I can't tell. It's an 8-bit character about that big. It's squatty and super deformed, so I don't know what's going on besides the few shapes I can find. So it looks like shorts, I guess. I'm not too sure. So again, we'll just do a study in human anatomy is what we'll do. Oh, because that's the other thing. I'm still drawing it like I want to say cosplay, even though, you know, it's a skeleton. There is nobody dressed up like this skeleton. But I'm saying if this skeleton dressed up as oh, and also, how do you say it? Do you say SANS or do you say SANS? I am a graphic designer, so we have always said SANS, as in hang on, let me draw this real fast. As in sans serif, that means no serif. So that's what I say. So what do you say? How do you say it? Do you say SANS? Do you say SANS? Or you know what? Maybe I'm even saying SANS wrong when I say sans serif. But that's what I've always said, sans serif. So SANS from Undertale. Okay, and I think that's good enough for my sketch. I think I can get started with the Sharpies. Let me erase. Ooh, I lost my eraser. Pause. There it is. I don't have to pause. It's behind my tablet. Okay. All right. So let me erase some of these sketch lines real quick, and then we'll get going. What I like to do is the first few lines are placement, and then after that I start pressing harder because I get more confident with that placement. So those are my confidence lines. So what I'm doing now is slightly erasing, so I can get rid of the sketchiness and keep the confidence. That's how I do it, and that's how you live your life too. You get rid of your sketchy thoughts, get rid of your sketchy life, and keep your confident life. Keep your confident thoughts. All right. Okay, I think I am ready. I say we welcome all the skippers and get going. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen. Mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point. It can find things that the fine point can't quite find. I've sketched the entire thing out. I've erased the majority of the sketch lines, but left myself enough to see where we're going to go. And if you want to see more, I don't know what I'm calling this one, but if you want to see more stuff in my playlist, check out whatever playlist I put right there, or check out the playlist in general, because I do so many that I've probably already drawn what you're looking for. If not, give me a request like this one was, and we'll get going. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just dive right in and just draw the skull. And I'll worry about the details later, like the eyes and all that kind of stuff, because I think one's glowing. Again, I don't know much about this. It was a request, so I had to look it up. So I'm just going to draw skeleton eyes like this. Draw a little nose like that. I'll put some details in here in a second, but he's got a big smiley face. I guess I'm going to draw bigger teeth. No, I'm just going to draw regular teeth. Because that's the other thing is I always say I draw like a cosplay person. So I'm just going to say this is a skeleton dressed up as SANS, whatever you want to call them. And plus, usually with a skeleton, it looks like they're smiling anyway, right? Because there's those big old teeth are showing. So we'll just say that he's smiling. Okay, so I'm going to draw his cheekbones. Kind of the skull. Whatever bones those are. I'll draw some of the little skull lines just to kind of define it a little bit. Again, just to kind of give it those skeleton features. Something like that. I shouldn't go too far because again, same thing with the regular face details. It'll bleed too much if I go crazy with these lines, so I'm not going to do that much. I'm just going to kind of add these lines. So let me draw his bottom jaw. And now I'm going to start to thicken my lines up just a little bit because when I switch over to this Sharpie, you're going to see a huge difference in line width. So I'm trying to match what's going to happen there. You don't have to do it if you're working with pencil. I'm just explaining to you why I'm drawing thicker now all of a sudden. All right. Plus, with stuff like this, whenever I'm drawing, like especially bones and stuff like that, I can kind of correct a few things. So if I don't draw it perfectly smooth around or whatever, you know, I can kind of go thicker in some spots. So perfect example right there. See how it's thinner right there? I'm going to bump up the back edge like this to try to make it a little bit smoother with that transition, right? The inside line is not so much, so I'm going to try to come in here like that, but it helps me to hide a few things. If you're working with pencil, you don't have to do this. I'm just explaining to you why I draw how I draw. All right, I like that. That'll work. So again, we'll worry about the eye and all that stuff and the what's going to be black and whatnot. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm going to switch over to the other Sharpie, and work on his jacket, I guess. Here's the other thing. I've seen a lot of people cosplay or draw like their version of it. I can't tell what this is because it's such a 8-bit looking character, and I don't know much about it. Again, this is a request. So I'm just going to draw my own little collar type thing. I'm going to draw like something like this. I've seen people draw it like a what do you call it? A fleece jacket, you know, with the big furry collar and that kind of thing, like a snow jacket kind of thing, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make mine a regular collar like this. So now I can start to work on the bones. I'm not going to do 100% perfect bones, but I am going to try to make it look at least like a skeleton, you know? Plus I need to add a few details here. Here's his jacket. And because he's got his hand in his pocket, his jacket is being stretched down a little bit, being pushed down with a little bit of pressure. So we're going to draw some crease lines from where the jacket's being pulled, okay? Gonna close off the front like that. I'm not worried about that side. I'm going to go ahead and draw his shoulders, big old bony shoulders, right? Because he's a skeleton. And let's do the jacket, then we'll do the bones inside. Okay, so again, I'm going to kind of stress it like that because it's being pulled down. He's got his hands in his pockets, so I'm going to bulge out the pockets a little bit, and then I can do his shoulder, his arms, because again, his arms are in his pockets. They're going to be low into his chest, but you can see a bulge right here from the arm, from where he is up against his body. Okay, so let me show you over here too. So we're gonna do a pocket like this. There's the edge of the jacket. I'm gonna do some kind of little what do you call it? Edge. It's edge. I don't know why I'm trying to come up with a better word. So his hands are in his pockets. So all I can draw is his sleeve, like this, creased up against him, and then his arms like that. So see, his bony arms are pulling on his jacket, and again, it's just a creased up jacket. That's it. So it's really simple, but you know, if nothing else, it gives us practice to draw creases and folds on a character. And I just like taking advantage of the fact that we can draw a whole bunch of them, you know? Okay, so let me close up the jacket right there. And I'll go ahead and draw like the pocket edge, just like that, just to show you that it's there. All right, so, I think I want to do the bones with the smaller Sharpie. So I sketched it out, so I got an idea of how I'm doing it. So I'm just going to kind of do something like this. I'll go ahead and add a little bit of extra detail. And again, I sketched out how I want the bones to be laying. So I can just kind of come in here and do this, because it's got that sternum, you know, right down the middle. And so usually what I do is I draw it so I know how far I can go. And I'm not worried about the bones underneath, because normally you would see the bones back behind the back of the rib cage, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to worry about the front, just to make it look like a rib cage. And then maybe with color, I'll add some of this stuff in the back, you know? But again, this is more about, okay, so he's turned, so that means we can see. Ooh, I shouldn't have done that, or just like kind of jumped in the middle for you. That's kind of an odd. But I'm gonna say we're turned, so his spine is, if his rib cage is, his spine is like this, his rib cage is around, we're gonna turn him a little bit like this, so the spine is back this way more than in the center, you know? So that's why I put it back like that. And so I will do this for your realism. Just saying that if the bones go up like that, then I'm going to do the other floating rib like this. Maybe you can see it like that, right? And we'll do one more that's just kind of floating down back there like that. Just kind of exaggerating that it should be floating that way more. But again, we're just playing around with what we can see and what we can't see. Okay, so now that I've got that defined, let me go ahead and draw like where the spine connects to your your pelvis, like that. And so then I'll connect it like this. Now again, most of this you're not going to be able to see anyway, because now we're hitting his hips, which is where his pants are going to be. So let's draw those pants. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. Now again, you can't see much in here anyway because of the way that the body is. So that's all I got to draw. That's it. So now we're just going to draw shorts like that. I'm going to hang them down this way. Black shorts. Right? That's it. There's not much to it. Again, it's just fun to be able to draw this and say, well, here's a practice in anatomy and a practice to draw a skeleton and maybe, you know, work on your positioning, right? I had a little bit of something like he's got to have a fly and the edge of the pants, right? So we'll do that same thing here. We'll just do a little seam like that. Again, just something to draw since there's not much to this one. Okay, for the bones, for his feet, maybe I should do it with a small Sharpie again, just to keep it consistent that clothing is hard and something substantial. Bones, not so much. So again, we're just going to do anatomy. So I'm going to draw his knees like this. Let's go ahead and draw them both. I wonder. Yeah, we'll just do something like that, just to show a little bit of oh, but I did thicken it up a little bit, huh? So I guess I do need to. Maybe I do need to do this with a big Sharpie. Yeah, let's do it with the big Sharpie, and then maybe I'll add a little extra detail because I did thicken it up right there. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Because that's the way it'll stay consistent with the skull, right? Okay, so again, we're just drawing anatomy. So let me show you your bones here and show you why it's only one here. So there's two, right? Your tibula, fibula. Isn't that right? Or is that in your arm? I can't remember, but there's two, right? So I'm going to draw this one here. Draw the other side over here. Now, the other one is kind of so far back behind like this. That like we can see it because we're straight on. Here on the other leg, if it was like that, same thing, we could see it like that. The leg is turning, that now it's back behind, right? So if this was your other one, whatever we're going to call it, as we're turning the leg, it's gone, right? So here we're only drawing one. So that's why I've got it on this side as two, but on this side it's one because it's so far. And it's really thin too. That's all we can see of it. It's so far on the side that when you turn, like think of it like the pinky, right? As we're turning, the pinky disappears because of the way this leg is. So that's why we're only drawing one side, okay? All right, ankle bones and all that stuff. This is like a whole mess of bones. So we're just gonna draw a whole bunch of little bitty things. Let's draw this one so you can see that we're drawing the whole bunch of little bones. This is why if you break your foot or your hand or something like that, there's a lot of single bones in there that, man, you can do a lot of damage. So be very careful and be happy when you got what you got, because sometimes it could be worse, you know? All right. So same thing here, I'm going to draw a whole bunch of little bones. I'm going to start off with the big bones first, or the front bones, because I always say draw what's in front and then you can draw what's behind. Well, there's so many tiny bones that I kind of want to draw like this. But I want it to look like it's behind, right? Like that. Let me add a little extra detail here. But that's all we can really do. So there you go. I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is SANS from Undertale. So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.